Hello and thanks for joining us this Sunday on your channel of choice, Africa Independent Television AIT, and welcome to the Signature Show. My name is Imo Insecurity. Now, in this edition of the program, who will help us recover our humanity? Something has gone wrong with our sense of what and who the human being, the human person is. Waduma goes to jail, but has justice been served? The petrol subsidy burden. Federal government admits that it is a policy that will break the back of the nation. Return to the shifting sand of Imo Insecurity. Imo State government says the unknown gunmen are not unknown. Plus, thank you, and their sweepers and corruption Tory. With this Sunday shows you that not every crayfish fired the bend. An exciting package if you ask me. Please stay with us. When Boko Haram elected to strike out into Nigerians, it began posting the beheading of its victims on the social media. Muslim clerics and intellectuals sought to distance the faith from the macabre act of religious zealotry. The above examples may not be the genesis of what has happened to the Nigerian person. That today, taking hold of an innocent Nigerian, taking his life in cold and methodical manner, even while he pleads and cries, and beheading him so clinically has become commonplace. And these acts of barbarity are posted on the social media to further deaden our sense of compassion, reverence for human blood, and life's essence and their humanity. The Anambra State Governor, Chukwuma Soludo, says this bestiality has even become commercialized. The killers now harvest the organs of their victims in a mercantile behavior that cries for vengeance by the state. But how moved are our political leaders who control the instrument of coercion to bring these merchants of death on their knees? How affronted are our religious leaders that the word of God, whether from Zion or Kaaba, preaching the cross or the Quran, is no longer elevating the eternal value of human life in Nigeria? Something has gone wrong, definitely wrong. And Nigeria, beyond politics and nationhood, must look into its place as a human society for the growth and fulfillment of life in peace and dignity. You are watching the Signature Show on AIT. We'll take a break and return shortly. Please stay with us. Now, last week, Hamisu Bala, you know him, alias Waduma, the Taraba kidnap kingpin, was sentenced to 7 years in jail by Justice Binta Nyako. Waduma, you remember, was the kidnap kingpin gun runner who was arrested by a crack team of police undercover operatives. Now, while the police were taking him to Abuja for more investigation, a team of soldiers ambushed the police team, killed 3 of the police operatives, took Hamisu Bala away, where they engaged the services of a welder to remove the leg chains and handcuffs with which he was restrained. Considering the many people Wadume killed in the course of his criminal exploits and the lives that were wasted in the course of his arrest, the 7-year sentence was a slap on the wrist. Justice Nyako berated the prosecution for not being diligent in prosecuting the case, raising worries if he used his stupendous wealth from kidnapping and gun running to procure non-diligent prosecution and perversion of justice. It is even more disgraceful that the Nigerian army, which promised to use its own internal mechanism to try its officers who killed the 3 police operatives, released Wadume before he was rearrested, have continued to shield and keep in their ranks accomplices in the kidnap of innocent Nigerians for both ransom and religious fundamentalism. It does not matter to the army that those officials are not just threats to innocent Nigerians and a blot on the image of the military, but in fact a threat to the Nigerian state. Reports indicate that the Nigerian army has even rewarded the very officer who gave the command for the policeman to be killed with a promotion to the rank of a major. Something is wrong. From Wadume to the burden of petrol subsidy. Now, while appearing before the committee of the House of Representatives last week, the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, admitted that Nigeria cannot sustain the payment of subsidy on petrol, which in 2022 alone is to go up 18.39 billion naira every day. It is necessary to tell Nigerians that today Nigeria borrows to pay salaries of workers, borrows to repay its debt, and borrows to pay subsidy. This means that Nigeria is living on borrowed time because the situation is not just sustainable. This Sunday, we bring back our special report on this challenge because it must become a campaign issue which will determine if the Nigerian economy will survive or collapse.
Between 1986 and 1987, the government of General Ibrahim Babangida sought to increase the pump price of petrol. Cost of subsidized petrol in Nigeria was so low that it ignited massive product smuggling from Nigeria into Chad, Niger and Cameroon republics. The odds on the Nigerian economy warranted a need to reconsider petrol subsidy. At the end, that government weighed the political consequences against the economic benefit and opted for price increase instead of doing away with petrol subsidy. On December 6, 2011, then Finance Minister under President Goodluck Jonathan's Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala had said that removal of subsidy on petrol was inevitable if the Nigerian economy was to remain afloat. She had said, and I quote, "Subsidy does not get to the poor. The middle and upper class are the real beneficiaries. It is clearly unsustainable." End of quote. When Jonathan attempted to remove the subsidy, this was what he got.
Great Nigerian people! Great Nigerian people!
We expect that the president should bow to the wishes of the people. He should reverse to 65 naira per litre and ask for discussion. The labor movement and our allies, we are open for discussion.
What Nigerians are actually asking for is a reversal to the 65 naira pump price of fuel. That is the only kind of broadcast that will make sense, so that the tension that is being created in the land today, the threat of possible instability as a result of the ongoing agitation, immediately will be doused once he does that.
Jonathan backtracked, and again the political option undermined economic consideration. Elements in the present government, including President Muhammadu Buhari, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, Pastor Tunde Bakare, and many others, dubbed the fuel subsidy under President Goodluck Jonathan a scam. But what is this scam? Is it regime specific? Political watchers have insisted that interest embedded in the independent petroleum product marketers and administrators of the Petroleum Equalization Fund defraud the nation through fuel subsidy. The marketers are alleged to cook up inflated figures to claim billions of dollars as funds for bridging the gap in landing cost and pump price, as well as transportation claims. These funds are alleged to be deployed to fund election of preferred candidates in any elections.
My members in Lagos, before they did what they did, called me and told me that they are now getting this product at 162 to 165. With transportation, another 8 naira, aggregating maybe 170, 173. Even the 10 naira, which is supposed to be our money, have eroded. What do we do? Now, you know, and I know, that it's only an NPC that imports this product into this country. Some of these tank farm owners who have gone to collect this product, I don't blame them because costs of doing business have also changed. It became so difficult for them to sell at 148 naira, 17 kobo. That with this product, we are now assessing at this 148.17 kobo. Status quo ante must be maintained.
Today, the government is repeating the same words used by Goodluck Jonathan's finance minister, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, that petrol subsidy is a heavy iron chain that will drag Nigeria to the bottom of the economic ocean. The government has signed the Petroleum Industry Bill into law, and President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled the new Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Additionally, the NNPC has jacked up the pump price of petrol unannounced in the night while Nigerians slept.
NNPC Limited will operate as a commercial, independent, and viable national oil company at par with its peers around the world to sustainably deliver value to its over 200 million shareholders and the global energy community, while adhering to its fundamental corporate values of integrity, excellence, and sustainability.
In the 2019 presidential campaign, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who was the candidate of the opposition PDP, had said that he would privatize NNPC and liberalize the oil and gas sector. He lost the election. President Muhammadu Buhari, who was in the vanguard of those who called petrol subsidy a scam, did not make it a campaign issue in 2019. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the current presidential candidate of APC, has since 2012 insisted that there was nothing like subsidy on petrol. But his party today says petrol subsidy is holding Nigeria down and is unsustainable, especially as Nigeria now borrows to pay subsidy. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who insisted that efficiency and production instead of unbridged consumption must dictate government policy, says subsidy is not helpful to the Nigerian economy.
Removing that subsidy can come in two ways. One, the government will have a reduction in the cost of governance. That money can be diverted into another source and will be beneficial to the Nigerians. In the other sector or other part, the consumers will also enjoy minimal price because the suppliers will be multiple, they will be eager to supply, and those who reduce their prices will be recognized highly by consumers. So by that, the suppliers will have a battle within the industry to reduce the price. That continuous decrease in the price will make the consumers enjoy the lesser price. And I feel it's very important for both the consumers and the government.
With the International Monetary Fund already cautioning Nigeria against continued borrowing to pay salaries of public servants and maintain subsidy, and with organized labor being agitated over the prospect of removal of subsidy, who among Atiku, Obi, and Tinubu can dare the subsidy devil? In Abuja, Nasir Usman for Signature Show.
You are watching the Signature Show on AIT. We take another break and we'll return shortly. Please stay with us. Now, last Sunday, we raised the issue of the shifting sand of finger pointing on who is responsible for insecurity in Imo State. Now, we said that the Imo State government appeared comfortable with the killing of its own citizens. Now, this Sunday, the Imo State government lays the facts on the table for better judgment and for a more informed public. I spoke with the Imo State Commissioner for Information, the clan Mbadiwe Melumba. Stay with us. Well, let me welcome you to the conversation segment of the Signature Show this Sunday. You know that last week we raised the issue of insecurity in Imo State. And we said the shifting sand of finger pointing. Our guest on that program was Honorable Uche Onyagocha, the PDP senatorial candidate in the forthcoming election, that is 2023 election, and a one-time member of House of Representatives. That edition of the program has drawn considerable interest. But we return to it this Sunday because the government also has a right of educating us out of some of the assumptions that were made. And so this afternoon I have a friend and the Commissioner for Information in Imo State. Commissioner for Information is the clan Mbadiwe Emelumba. Mbadi Angry. Yeah, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much, Chief.
First of all, let me start from the known. The known is that the governor in that program admitted that there is an Ebubago. But Uche Onyagocha said that he was not aware that Ebubago is a product of the law. In other words, he suspects that the government is foisting an institution beside the law on the people. Is there a law establishing Ebubago?
Definitely, yes. And you know, I want to say that it's unfortunate that he said that, because being a lawyer, you should know that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. There is a law, and the title of the law is the Imo State Security Organization Law number 2 of 2021. And if you go through the law, you find that it is what really gives the legality to Bago, because the Bago is clearly mentioned there. In fact, was even defined that Ago is the face of a tiger, and that is, you know, so there's a law, and you know, a law which I think you should know really passes through a process. First of all, we have 27 members representing every local government, including his local government. So his representative in the House of Assembly was there and was part of that law. 2, it went through public hearing, and at the end of the day, it satisfied all conditions, and it was passed into a law. So there is a law that clearly there's no question about, and that is why it has a legal backing. So the government is going to present it formally to the public on 23rd of this month. Yes.
Okay. And let me address more of the contentious discussions in that edition of the program. One of them was the killing of 14 young men in the Olu axis, in the Osu axis of Imo State. The governor had said that the DSS was involved in that operation. The DSS itself has also said that they were involved in that operation. Who were these people, 14 people, that lost their lives in that operation? Do you know who they were?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you that I'm happy you said the DSS has acknowledged that they were responsible, they were led the operation. And so the truth is that the DSS got security information tip-off that a group of young men normally hold meetings on Sundays somewhere in our Mama, where they call a camp. And that meeting is for the purpose of strategizing on how to enforce sit-at-home on Mondays. You know, if anybody who has been following the story of Imo State, you will know that the sit-at-home in Owerri and other areas doesn't really work. But it's very effective along that our Mama axis. And so that was why they went. And when they went into the camp where they were meeting. Then when they saw them coming, they opened fire. So they had to return fire. I've heard people saying that these were people who went for a wedding. I'm not, let me not say they did not go for a wedding or they went for a wedding. But even the young man who claimed that he was the person who got married, if you watch his video, you will see that he also admitted that they left the wedding and went for a meeting. So that even if they went for a wedding, it doesn't mean that they couldn't have left the, which he said they did. But the big question is, why was it that all the people were seen at a particular place, you know, at a particular time? And you know, and secondly, if they went for a wedding, or as people have claimed that they were in a wedding, is it only young men that go to a traditional wedding, and then you don't see old men, you don't see young girls and so on? And we have all seen the groom. As we talk, nobody has seen the bride. And you know, we saw people showing video of people who were killed. They were carrying them on wheelbarrow, which means they had Android phones to do video. So if truly they were coming from a wedding, why have they not shown us a video of at least the wedding before whatever?
Let me interrogate that matter. Yeah. There are reports that the home of the father-in-law of the boy who did that traditional wedding was touched, was burnt down. Could the DSS do an operation in a camp and still burn down the home of the prospective father-in-law?
I mean, the answer is no. I mean, that's all propaganda, because you know, this thing is orchestrated. When we say it's orchestrated by opposition, people don't understand it. Immediately this thing happened, the opposition jumped into the fray and started accusing government. You know, even when the DSS explained that, look at what happened, these people are planning this. Now, let me say that, you know, shedding of blood in any form is not, you know, government does not celebrate that. Nobody is going to celebrate that. It's unfortunate, but the truth of the matter is that this happened in the course of trying to enforce law and order. And if you are a security operative and you are coming to challenge people who are taking the laws into their hands, who are non-state actors, and they challenge you by firing at you, of course you are not going to keep quiet. So in the process, unfortunately, people died. And the man who took them to the place, his name is Network, who was interviewed by the director of SS. I had the person interviewed saying there is no evidence that it was a director of SS who interviewed. I don't know whether he works with SS. But he said, his name is Network, or his alias is Network. He said that he led them to show them the camp where they were holding that, because he was part of them. And when they got there, they fired. And he said also that he identified those who were killed, and they were their members. So if you put that against what the DSS has said, that they went to this camp to challenge these people, then you would know that definitely. And then I had my friend when he was saying that the guns used to shoot at these people was pump action. I don't know how he got. I don't know how he got that his information. That is why I would say that, you know, he is really a part of these people. Because if he's not part of them, you know, because probably he didn't how he. If he's not part of them, I don't know how he will be have such inside knowledge of everything. So how did he know it was pump action that was used? It wasn't at the scene. But he said it's pump action, and you look at the thing, it doesn't really make sense to me.
Okay, thank you. We'll soon continue shortly.
Yes.
Well, the elements are in control. Because we elected to record this program outside, we had to relocate because the weatherman told us much earlier that it was going to be raining today. So we are relocating. Now, Honorable Commissioner,
yes,
before we relocated, we're looking at the operational modus of DSS. And the issue I was raising was, how come that after the encounter, they allowed the community to take away some of the bodies, and you explained to me?
Yes, yes. I said, you know, it was like a warfare, really. And in a warfare, you don't predict what happens. They met these people, like I said, they opened fire, exchange of fire. And then the process of pursuing them into the bush, by the time they retreated and came back, 5 of the corpses were already missing. And so in that kind of situation, you cannot, it's not like they met people who were immobile, or who were just not, or who were unarmed, and then they shot them, and then you begin to. But if you meet people who firing at you and they're exchanging. And the situation is not the same as maybe the group of people who were arrested.
They were not sitting a docile,
yes,
sitting dogs.
Exactly.
Okay, but Honorable Commissioner, there's an issue of interest to us.
Yes.
And that is the last edition, with all due respect, I, who anchored it, I said that there was a kind of quicksand, dune movement. First, the governor had said that those who were accountable for the insecurity when he came to power initially were not of the Southeast extraction. Subsequently, he said that they were Uzodinma haters and political opponents. Then this last time, DSS involved in an operation with IPOB. Has the Imo State government really placed its fingers on the source and cause of insecurity in the state?
Yes, I can say yes. But let me explain something.
Yes.
So that we don't, first of all, there's a general insecurity in the country.
I agree.
And it's not like it's a case peculiar to Imo. And then secondly, the Imo case is peculiar in the sense that, you know, that to some extent is peculiar in the sense that, you know, when we came in, there were people who made it clear from day one that they were going to make the state ungovernable for the governor. They didn't pretend, they didn't hide, and they started raising protests and, you know, doing all manner of things. So it's not like you are looking for them.
So it's not like unknown gunmen.
No. In the actual sense of it, let me tell you, sir, with due respect, the man who you interviewed, you know, there was something he said about that Imo was relatively more peaceful before Uzodinma came, and suddenly since he came, Imo is no longer peaceful, which is a fallacy, complete fallacy. Because first of all, I want to let you know that in 2019, Shell Petroleum Development Company, they had a factory, they had a project, they moved out of the place because of insecurity. 2019, Senator Uzodinma was not the governor then. They let him find out who was the governor. Today they have come back. So what is the if a company that is as organized and as well established
yeah.
and has all its sensors everywhere could decide that for security reasons we are pulling out of Imo State 2019, and in 2022 they are coming back. That says a lot, and I will leave it at that. However, what I'm saying is that there are people behind the insecurity, and they're not pretending. And I want to tell you that the man interviewed here last week, Uchoyagosha, is the face behind the insecurity in Imo State, because he himself has been training militants, and you know, he has a long history of relationship with militants, and he imposed these people. So when the governor was saying that,
Honorable Commissioner,
yes,
you are saying something very sensitive.
Yes.
Are you saying for fact
Yes.
that Honorable Uchoyagosha, yes, trains militants?
Yes,
is it known to the government?
Is it known to the government? He was their lawyer. He has been their lawyer.
But is it known to the government?
Well, it's security information, intelligence information we have.
Yes, if it's known to the authorities,
yes.
It's known to the authorities.
Yes.
They should have gone after those people and gone after him and reined him in.
No, I mean, the thing is open to everybody. It's a well-known thing. It's all everywhere in the social media. He's not even pretending about it. He himself is not pretending about it. He's well known for that. Like I said, he has been their lawyer. That is one. Two, he has a history of even violence himself. You know, so he's part of them. So it's their face. So it's not. They will say why he was charged to court arrested by police, taken to court for very violent and uncivilized behavior in INEC during the last election. What surprises me is that this is a man who is running for election, and he has not been able to tell people that he wants to represent this. What he will do for them is every day is Uzodinma, every day is Uzodinma, as if it is Uzodinma is going to represent in the Senate. Because
that's his governor.
Yeah, that's his governor. But meanwhile, you have something serious. You are claiming you want to go to Senate. The other people who are contesting for this are busy outlining their program. But from grapevine information, I hear that he's training militants that will come and overrun the place because he's a very violent person. Now, Why is it that after all that, the thing is that concentrated in Olu area, the governor's area, like he was even saying in his program? The reason is simple. They want to create the impression, because that's their script. That's his script. And that's why he jumps at every opportunity to give life to his script, because that the governor's people don't want him or he's having problems with his people. But beyond that, all those who have been targeted in the pockets of issues in Olu are APC people and government people. The governor's house was burnt. My own house was burnt. The house of the Attorney General was burnt. And the house of my local government chairman was burnt. And the woman leader from Olu area was killed. So most of the people being killed or burnt or the house is burnt are either APC or government people. So why is it so? Now, it might tell me that, okay, maybe they feel that the government is a problem, so they're attacking government and APC. But then the question you ask yourself is, why is it in only Olu that you have government people and APC people? Why is it not being extended? Why is it, why such things not happening in Olu, nowhere and Okigwe and only Olu? So it's just like the wish cried in the night and the child died. Don't need anybody to tell you. The people are
let us not.
Yes.
As people seeking to find answers to the situation, can we look at the possible answers? And let us draw from what Uchwenyaga just said last Sunday. He said that the government has not gotten the buy-in of the people into its efforts to address this matter. Is the government making an effort to get the people to buy into its own effort, so that people can appropriate that effort and becomes a collective move to resolve the crisis?
Well, and I'm happy you asked that question, and I want to tell you that the evidence is, is abundant, overwhelming, that if there is anybody, if there's any government that has really consulted with the people, even in terms of the security challenges in Imo State, I think that is Governor Hope Uzodimma. Now, I would like to show you, we are not here, maybe I'll send you, he has held 6 stakeholders meetings so far. And when I talk of stakeholders, I mean stakeholders from every class, the business class, bureaucrats, politicians, the clergy, and everybody. So if those who are invited and they don't come and they say it is not consulting, that's not true. The agenda most times is about this security situation. It throws it open. People make suggestions. Even before the establishment of a bank, it discussed it. These things are recorded. We have records of these things. And so the people have been buying into the program, and they now give them a mandate by resolution. Do this, do this. And democracy is about the majority. So if you think you are aggrieved, or because you think you lost out of the, and you don't accept Governor Obuzodimma, and you sit in your house and say you are not aware, you are not aware, it is irrelevant. The majority of Imo people are regularly consulted, and they give their approval to whatever the governor is doing. And these are records, these are facts that you can verify. So there is no way anybody can tell you that this governor has done anything outside the mandate of the people. He even went further to establish Imo Elders Council, an advisory council. This is made up of traditional rulers, religious leaders, and elder statesmen. It's a standing body that regularly interface with him. I don't know the other level of consultation. But you see, it's a different thing for somebody to come from a very myopic point of view because of your hatred for Uzodimma. Everything he says, you are not aware. You don't need to be aware. It is not about you. It's about the people, and the people are aware. Those who matter. The last stakeholders meeting was chaired by Leostan Eke, and it's not an unknown quantity in Imo State. So if Leostan Eke is aware that there's consultation and he shared it and praised the governor, and somebody is saying he's not aware, that's the person's business.
Does the governor in these town halls, consultations, invite opposition?
He does. And I can show you the evidence. There is none that he has not invited all former governors, all former members of the National Assembly, all formal speakers and ministers and so on and so forth. I mean, to just talk about the political class, that's from where you will find the opposition. He does. He invites all of them, but they choose not to come. He can only force a horse to the river. He can't force it to drink. He can't. If they choose not to come, he's not going to use the whip to whip them to come to this. So he invites them, and they will have the evidence of these invitations. So and they cannot say that they are not invited. They can pretend that they are not invited, but in their heart of hearts, they know that they are always invited, and the choice of not coming. And I want you to just look at, because there are so many ways to know the acceptability of government. The very vocal opposition, very intense opposition against the governor and his government comes from a section of the political class. The larger business community in Imo, and the bureaucrats, elder statesmen, clergy, all of them accept him and are working with him. And that section of the political class that has refused to accept him were those who lost out in the governorship election. And they have also refused to accept that Supreme Court judgment is final. There's nothing anybody can do about it. And to make matters worse, they're not pretending about it. They said clearly. So Uche Agosha is angry because they lost out the governorship. That's the reason. And it's unfortunate that he appears to be losing focus, because there's nothing he does these days other than Uzodimo. I don't know where he thinks that will take him.
Well, for those of us who are from Imo State and for residents of Imo State, the Honorable Commissioner for Information says Imo State is safe, can do business there. And as we used to, he says, we can get out in the evening and have a good time. Let's have good times. Let us also thank him for coming to the conversation this afternoon. Honorable Commissioner, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my chief.
Well, the conversation never ends. My name remains Mwabuzin Joku. Let's meet again next Sunday. Good afternoon. And now for our thank you. There was a reverend gentleman named Luke Dang Gyang in Jos between 1970 and 1980. He was loved for preaching the gospel in word and in music. He had a son, Jeremiah Gyang, who redefined and mainstreamed Hausa gospel music. And in 2005, Jeremiah released a gospel music sweeper. This is introducing Jeremiah Gyang in Nabaka.
saboda haka hannu a tafa godiya gare ka Allah. Nayi har na kasa, ubanmu wanda ke cikin sama ya kamata mu dogara ga Allah, amma dan Adam da Adama ya dogara ga kansa, shi yasa rayuwa ya zama zaman azaba. Mu yabi Yesu mu tsira, ku zo mu taka maganan Allah, rai da lafiya daga samaniya har cikin duniya, uba da da ruhu mai tsarki, a duk sarakuna Allah shine sarki. Mu bi shi da bauta da ban gaskiya, karfinmu a cikin ikkilisiya. Sai mu tafa, sai mu taka, sai mu tafa, ku zo mu taka. Ya Allah na baka zuciya na, Allah na baka rayuwa na, ya Allah na baka rayuwa na, Allah na baka zuciya na.
Well, thank you, Jeremiah, for spreading happiness beyond the English-speaking Nigerian youth. And this is our package for today. But please stay with us as we join my colleague, Marvelous Ubemano, for Corruption Theory. My name is Mwabo Senjoko. Good afternoon.
A corruption theory.
Na corruption tori be this. My name na Marvelous Oboman, your tori master. Sometimes when some people don suffer too much, dem go leave road enter bush, put hand for small things wey fit bring dem disgrace. If you ask dem, they go tell you say na fire make crayfish bend. My brother, but no be every crayfish fire fit bend o. Our corruption tori today go make you stand up, you go clap, or you fit cry small, because true fire dey pain, but some people dey hold their teeth even when fire dey burn them.
This a corruption theory.
You remember say when corruption tori do talk your own make I talk my own, wey oyibo dey call town hall meeting from Pape wey dey for Abuja, we say thank you, well done to some people wey do shege to corruption. One woman, Modesta Ofobike, dey among those people wey we say thank you. Wetin make we say thank you to Modesta Ofobike?
Some people came to jollificate in her restaurant. After jollificating, they were so happy that they forgot all their money in the place and went home. How much did they forget in your restaurant?
60,000.
60,000 naira. And if you have been to Modesta's restaurant, you will know that she needs that money to uplift her restaurant. But she said no and started looking for those people and returned that money intact. Yes, 60,000 is not 1 million, but if you steal 60,000, you can steal 1 billion. So we are presenting this to you, Modesta Ofobike, in recognition of your anti-corruption efforts. And we are doing this on behalf of MacArthur Foundation, our supporters, Signature Television, and our program, Corruption Tori.
Dis woman get one small restaurant and bar wey she dey manage. Na from dat her restaurant she dey see shikini money send her pikin go school, pay rent for the shop and the house where dem dey live. If you see dat restaurant, my brother, my sister, you go know say ground no level at all, because you no go see more than 3 or 4 bottles of drink inside the fridge, and many customers no dey come there. One day, Satan come do like God. One woman and her husband enter Modesta Ofobike restaurant bar, and when they eat, drink, chop, jolly cake finish, they forget their bag of money. Na him make corruption tori say thank you to Modesta Ofobike. Like say Satan dey wait make small light reach dis woman. After corruption tori don show the world say Modesta Ofobike na better person, everything about her business scatter for yakata for ground. No market, no customer, pikin dey eat, small money dey finish. Landlord for shop, driver comot. Landlord for house, driver comot. Children no fit go school because no money for school fees. Modesta Ofobike withdraw her children from school, carry all her property go put for the house of her friends and neighbors.
I feel very bad because the thing happened when I'm not strong, and I was not in the market when the thing happened, so I cannot be able to do anything. I feel bad. Since the owner of the house said she should leave the shop, she had to leave the shop. It's nothing for her to do again. So some of her items, she even packed it in my own apartment.
You know say when wetin pass Nte, the cricket come meet Nte, him go shout. Corruption tori shout. E no good make e look like Modesta na foolish woman wey money come meet am, e no come talk say God don butter her bread and e don answer her prayer. How woman wey comot face for temptation, stand strong for good behaviour, go come dey suffer na?
Madam Modesta na good woman for this place wey we know. For the years wey I don stay here dey sell, the good thing wey dey do wey I even like pass, see those my engine wey I dey grind this my egusi. If I leave her outside forget go, tomorrow if I come, e dey my table dey wait for me. She's a nice woman o.
She's a very nice woman. She always cook food and give to me. We cook food and eat together. Even I went to her house, I went to sleep there at times, we play together, eat together as a sister. Even if I don't have money for market, I will go and meet her. She now loan money to my market. When I say finish, I will turn it back for her.
She's very nice. Sometimes when I need something, I run to her, she will give me.
Anything we no get, she dey buy for us. Even though food no dey, she go find where she go get food so that she will give us.
As we dey shout, we go meet Deputy Minority Leader for Nigeria House of Representatives wey be Right Honourable Toby Okechukwu. My brother, wetin God no fit do no dey exist o.
A woman who has shown such fortitude, such uprightness, such sincerity, such monumental integrity should be able to be helped in order to encourage and motivate other citizens. As the person representing her, do my best to encourage her, to ensure that perdition is alleviated. On behalf of my constituents and my family, my wife, I'm happy to support her, to try to rediscover her bearing, to get her bearing to the sum of 500,000 naira.
On behalf of Corruption Tori, on behalf of Signature Television, on behalf of our supporters like Other Foundation and our representative Honorable Toby Uchu, who is also the Deputy Minority Leader of Nigeria's House of Representatives. We make this donation of 500,000 naira.
As corruption dey shout, na so all the staff of corruption tori surrender part of their salary to tell Satan make him comot hand for this better woman life.
And then we continued to talk to Nigerians, and I must say that what happened was not encouraging at all. People wrote letters, sent us text messages, oh, wonderful woman, but we need more people like her. But no Nigerian sent 1 naira. So, at the end of the day, we said, we can't let her continue just staying at home. Sure. If it's 500,000 that we have, we should make it available to her. But we also sat as a team and said that we task each one of us, members of Signature. We deducted money from everybody, and as an organization, we added 250,000 to her 500,000.
The bank document of the money where them gather give Modesta. Now the country director MacArthur Foundation, Kole Shetima, and Oga of Signature TV, V. Martin Obiora Ilo, give Ofobike the document.
On behalf of MacArthur Foundation and Signature Communications, we are giving you this letter. It's addressed to the manager of United Bank for Africa and Independence Labs in Nigeria. When you present this, they will remove all our names and have this account totally in your care and in your management. And what we have in this account is 750,000 naira. Madam, please.
Oh my God,
Madam, no. Please stand up.
It's why I'm standing there suffer with my husband.
Madam, it's okay. It's okay, please.
Everywhere that you start to bring this money, God will bless everybody. God will protect you and our family. God will see you and trust you and children.
It's okay, just stand up. Stand up, please.
Kole Shetima come advise Nigerians say make them try to dey support Nigerians wey don do good for the matter of corruption.
It's always very difficult for people who are in a very difficult position not to be tempted by what we are seeing. But God works in various ways as well. So thank you very much for all that you have shown. And of course also for the Signature team for organizing this very important thing. Which will give her the opportunity to start her life. And I'm sure that God will bless the money that has been collected. I'm sure it will multiply and I'm sure it will be much more better with that. This is very important information that we need to have some safety net. Otherwise people will not see them out of the savings. If they feel that the consequences of doing that will be disastrous.
Mrs. Modesta Ofobike and her friend come talk as their belle dey sweet them.
I no expect all this from me. Look at me, I don't have anything. Look at the kind of money where they carry give me. Jesus, I feel very, very, very good. I encourage everybody to do good. Even if you have the little one that you have, use it and help people, or do something that this God will never leave you and He will reward you later. God will bless them and God will reward them. And then they continue to do good for people. God will never put them to shame. And their family and their children.
I tell them that you do good is good. If you do bad is not good. When you do good, it will be difficult and your reward is still be enough. Almighty, you reward them one by one. They will not lack. What will be the according to their heart desire. What you do that money, give my sister. God will reward you. Yes, God will multiply it back for them in 100 folds.
I was built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up.
This na corruption theory.
My people, true word no be cheek. No be every crayfish fire dey bend. I don hammer, I don hammer. Make you look them well well o. Ha, my brother, if it be another person bag of money dem take hammer. But if you endure, last you go hold your head and you go talk say na me and God dey waka. Na here I go end my corruption story for today. My name na Marvelous Oboman. Abeg, make una try dey carry corruption for una head o. No be only me get am, na all of us go join hand fight am. Una hear me so? Oya na me we jam again. Una bye bye yo.